Good day and welcome again to the Marriage Relationship Hour. You are watching the program, the Relationship and Marriage Hour, yes, at LuvBay. And we are so happy to have you joining us today. I am your host, Dr. Alvin Hepburn, out of Nassau, Bahamas. My co-host, Dr. Maria MacDonald, will be joining momentarily. We are so happy that you have joined in with us today as we continue part two of what we discussed last week, or what we was discussing last week. We want you to know that this program is brought to you by LuvBay Radio, your number one African, Caribbean, and diaspora online radio out of Canada. It's a 24/7 program. And yes, the program today is the Relationship Marriage Hour, and we are talking about intimacy, the level up, part two. Wow. And if you missed last week, I think you can still go back and you can download it on our social media sites so that you can watch and listen to the broadcast. But we want to do a part two of this provocative topic, intimacy, the level up part two. And what did we discuss last week? What was it all about last week that we discussed? I like something that I heard a famous preacher out of America, Bishop T.D. Jakes, says when he thinks about intimacy, he breaks the word up and he says it is into me see. Yeah. What do you need to see in me? Who am I? What do I bring to the table? What do I possess? Who am I? And that's what we want to talk about today. We want to go a little bit deeper in this topic in intimacy. And when we discussed it, we went from a biblical standpoint where we looked in Genesis chapter 2. And in Genesis chapter 2, the ending of Genesis chapter 2, it says, and God presented the woman to Adam. And Adam says, yes, she should be called woman, for she was taken from man. For this cause must a man leave his father and mother and cling to his wife, and they should be called one flesh. They should be one flesh. And then this is the part that I think is so powerful in the text. It says, and the two of them were both naked and not ashamed. And for the average person reading that, they would say, okay, they were just physically naked. Means they didn't have on any clothes, because clothes was not technically created as yet. But I want to take it a bit deeper in the fact that this here, that verse of scripture is the best representation that we can have of what true intimacy is all about. Being naked, being who you are, without the facade, without the mask, without the pretense, without the acting. You being exactly who you are, and the person who you are being, who you are with, accepts you for who you are. Wow. That's powerful. A powerful way to live. Now, that being said, how do you be who you are for this intimacy if you don't know you? So before this level of intimacy can be met, you as an individual must know who you are. And in knowing who you are, then you can venture out. The reason why plenty people out there have up a facade is because they don't really know who they are. All they're seeing is what they are putting out there. So I guess this is me because John did it, because Sally did it, because the other person did it, and I like it, so I guess that's me as well, when that does not have to be the case. I want to say to my listening audience out there that before you engage, this is to my single brothers and sisters, before you engage in relationship with someone, have a relationship with yourself. Find out who you are. Find out what your likes and dislikes are. Find out your boundaries, what you can and cannot do, what you will and will not accept. Find all of that out. And yes, love you for who you are. Love you for who you are. And you will be good. Nobody should make you happy like you make you happy. I can spend the whole day by myself and be fine. Know why? I'm not full of myself, but I like Alvin. And listen, I did not always like Alvin. I can give you my story. Born in the Bahamas. The Bahamas was colonized by Britain. So we know what happened. In our culture here in the Bahamas, the lighter your skin was, the better you were looked upon. The smarter they thought you were. The more opportunities you got, the lighter your complexion. I grew up in a society being of dark skin where people look at me and they were like, you ain't all that. So that then played on my psyche. And I had planned it, even in my mind. I said, do you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to bleach my skin so I could be as white as I could be, so people could look at me and accept me for who I am. And doors will open for me. Until I had to come to grips with the fact of me bleaching or me lightening my complexion doesn't then make me me. So I had to look in the mirror and have a serious conversation with Alvin. And I had to say to Alvin, you are the way you are. It's not like you filled out an application before you came to Earth, and on this application, you said, okay, I want to be dark-skinned. I want to be less than 6 feet tall. I want to be born in this family. That does not happen. So those are things that I could not change, so I had to just accept it. And then I had to love me for who I am. And in loving me for who I am, I then began. Welcome, Dr. MacDonald.
Hi, I can hear
Yeah.
you, but I don't see you.
Oh, wow. I can see you, though. I can
Oh,
see
you
you
can?
and hear you. I
Oh,
can see you
wow.
and hear you. Yes.
Okay. All right.
But loving me for who I am, then I start looking at me to get to know who I am as an individual, what my likes, what my dislikes, what my limitations are, what boundaries that I have for me. And then once I came to grips with that, understanding who Alvin is, then I could have ventured out to find the love of my life, who's Tanya. So now me and Tanya can be intimate because Alvin knows who Alvin is, Tanya knows who Tanya is, and we can be ourselves around each other. So, Dr. MacDonald, what I was talking about, we were still looking at this word intimacy, and I was telling them we went back to the Genesis story about how the two were naked and not ashamed. And we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about how you have to be yourself in order to
Mm-hmm.
be intimate.
Yes.
And that's you taking off the mask, taking off the facade, taking off all of the pretense, and stop acting and then be who you are.
Yes. Yes.
So, what I was just
And
talking about just now is so you can't be totally intimate until you know who you are. So, you need to spend time with yourself to get to know yourself before you now bring
mm-hmm.
somebody else in to get to know them.
Yes.
And that's
And
where,
Doc, I
and
think,
that's the conversation.
hmm right. And I really believe that is one of the problems that we face in relationships. Persons go into relationship and first of all, they haven't learned who they are, do not have the confidence in themselves. So our first priority, Doc, is to be confident about ourselves, get to know who we are, know what is our tolerance level, know what it is we would want in a relationship, and all of these good stuff. And I believe once we do that, then we are ready for a relationship. If we don't know ourselves, can't appreciate who we are, that's not going to help us.
So true.
Hmm.
So we need to understand who we are as individuals,
Yeah.
or we should understand who we are as individuals before we engage in trying to join in with others to try to form that bond.
Yes. Yes. Because, Doc, when we look at knowing the individual whom we are looking to date or are dating or is married to, then we can understand that person. We are first responsible for us. Then we can understand the other person. So can you imagine if I'm dating or my husband and I together and he doesn't know me well enough to realize or see when there is a sign that something is off, you know, in a relationship, if we don't know our spouse, our significant other, that can be bad because when I'm going a step above, Doc. When we talk about having mental issues, when you
Uh-huh.
look at that person, you look at that person and you say, "Oh, they're normal. They just pretending, right?" But there may be a genuine situation going on there. But because we do not know each other well enough, we have not connected to be able to trust each other. Because when we're talking about trust, there must have been a connection. So if there's no
Yeah.
connection in the relationship, there's no trust. So when you see your spouse or your significant other acting untoward, acting out of character, then you wouldn't even know that something is wrong.
Hmm.
But
That is true.
if we know each other well enough, then we know that hey, something is not right. This is not the mannerism. This is not the way my husband behaved. This is not the way my wife behaved. Something is going on. And Doc, I took that approach because, you see a lot of people in relationship, and then today they are normal, tomorrow they are not. You remember we had
Hmm.
Dr. Smith on, and she
Yes,
spoke about
yes.
some of this, and because of our hormones and all of these things, they can
Hmm.
trigger off certain things. But one
Yeah,
of the things
yeah,
I
yeah,
find, Doc, is happening a lot is mental issues.
yeah, yeah. That is so true, Doc. And the thing about it, there's so many things that can bring that mental issue, make it an issue. It could be hormonal. It could just be stress.
Yes.
It can be too, Doc, that you spend so much time with a mask on
Mhm.
and not really knowing who yourself is, that you're faced with a situation and the real you appear and you wondering, well, who this is?
Of course, because you didn't know you didn't learn yourself. You
Because
don't
you
know
didn't know
yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it happens, and I think we need to really
And
focus
boy,
more there.
situations come in our life.
Hmm.
Go on, Doc, you can talk.
I don't know. I can't see you, so just please excuse me. I'm talking. You can see me, and I can't see you, so I don't know what's happening. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like the fact that if we are connected, if we have that bond, then we
Uh-huh.
can easily identify when something is out of character. So
Yeah.
intimacy with one of the partners having a challenge mentally, that can be taxing, I believe. That can be
Very.
taxing. Yeah.
Doc, I spoke with someone who told me that he just couldn't hack it. That his wife was diagnosed and with she was bipolar, and
Wow.
he did not know every morning which one he was going to meet.
Yeah.
Some mornings he met who he would call his wife. Other mornings there was this woman that he did not know who she was,
Wow.
and when she wouldn't take up her medication, he just could not deal with what he was presented with.
Yeah.
Um, so I so mental challenge of that, it takes a lot, doc, to deal with that.
Yes. So when we think about being intimate with a mental condition, like he said, one morning he wake up and he has his wife, and then another morning he wake up and she's totally someone else. So it means then the responsibility rests on the one that is healthy. But
Hmm.
it also, you got to look at the situation. If that spouse is not cooperating, I don't know how effective it will be.
Yeah,
You know, so that is why we had to look at bringing in our consultant to talk about that mental illness because it's stressful in a relationship. I don't know, and I salute persons, doc, who may be going through it. But the mere fact that when they got
Mhm.
married to stay together, to stay in the marriage for better or for worse. So now that their spouse is not
Mhm.
well, their obligation is to be
Mhm.
there for that spouse. But it's a
Mhm.
taxing situation. Intimacy will be just as the relationship is on rocky ground. You may have some days it's good, some days it's not. But what
Mhm.
I love and respect a lot of is a woman or a man that has a spouse that has a mental condition and they are honest or one of integrity to stick with their spouse. And I met such a person before. His
Mhm.
wife had a mental issue, and he said persons were telling him to divorce her, leave her, because she's no good to him. But
Mhm.
he refused to do it because he said she is not in her right mind and it's not right for him to just leave her just like that.
Oh wow.
And I thought that was so remarkable, so good of him, you know.
Mhm.
She may
Mhm.
not there, there may not be intimacy in that relationship, but the fact that he said, I am going to be with you in good times and the bad times, people tend to stick with it. Um, but if in the case that the situation is that severe, then maybe the individual will need help because you cannot sleep, Dr. Alvin. If you have a spouse that is bipolar,
Mhm.
it's hard for you to sleep at night, not knowing which one of them gonna come out at you, and it's not
Yeah.
it's not easy. It's not easy. But those
No,
spouses,
not at all.
those persons that are in such a relationship, and the intimacy is not as they would like it to be. Um, the one thing I would encourage them is to get help, to get help for their
Mhm.
partner,
Get professional
and
help. Yeah.
professional help.
Yeah.
Uh, Once you would have gotten the
Mhm.
help that one needs, then the intimacy can return in the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Doc, um, truly, you cannot be intimate if you're not yourself.
Right, right,
So if your partner is going through some mental disturbance, they're not fully there, then there's a level of intimacy that you will never be able to reach.
yeah,
Because
so true.
because in order for true intimacy to happen, each spouse must be at 100, which means
Yeah,
they're 100% of who they are.
yes,
And as you are 100% of who you are, then you can reveal yourself to your partner.
so true. So, Doc, what do you
Yeah.
think then for those persons that are in such situation? What do you think can be the best solution? Because in some cases, some spouse may go out and look for somebody else. You know,
Well,
um,
Doc, Doc,
this is where problem
you
comes
said it
in.
right. You said it right when you said the situation of the case that you know, and
Right,
it's a hard pill to swallow. But when you stand and make those vows, um, the traditional vows, you said for better or worse,
right,
for richer or poor, in sickness and in health, until death us to part. So
exactly.
you you will have to do your part as best as lie in you to honor those vows.
Doc, do you think then a spouse that goes out because their husband or wife is in a mental situation, can they justify themselves for going out and finding someone else to appease their desires? Is it right for them to do it? Is there any grounds that give them rights to do it? Because you must understand that even though we are talking it, the reality is out there. The mere fact that
Mm.
this young man I spoke to said persons told him to leave or divorce her. How can you
Mhm.
divorce a person that is mentally challenged?
Yeah. How do you
So
leave
is
your
it
friend when they're at their lowest?
at their lowest? That's right.
Yeah.
So can
Yeah.
they have, is there any grounds that would give them the right or give them the okay to say, go out there and look for somebody else?
No, that's the answer. Two-letter
Hmm.
word, N-O. Tell
Okay.
dead us to part. You have
Hmm.
agreed that you will give yourself only to that person till death you to part.
Hmm.
And and
So,
if we go biblical, mental illness is not, it is not a out in a marriage.
mhm.
Marriage is until death.
So what if that spouse say, "Man, I have to go find somebody because my husband or my wife can't help me right now," and they find some excuse as to why this had to be done. I know you said no. Are you sure there's nothing that gives them the ground to do what they do?
Nothing. Nothing
Yeah.
biblically.
Right. Right. Okay.
But as human beings, if people can do what they want to do, and people,
Mhm.
doc, there are people who have healthy spouses and go and
Mhm.
find reasons as to why they should go out of the marriage and be intimate with others.
Right.
So people will find excuses for anything. Oh, she doesn't cook the way I wanted to cook. The woman down the road is cooking better, and when I go by her, I have to satisfy her. You can find all kind of excuses, or
Yeah.
this my wife stresses me out. This woman, she's there to help build me up. All of those things are just excuses, and none
Yes.
of them
Yes.
stands up as to
Mm.
why you should break the covenant
Mhm.
that you've made.
Yes. 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 So there is no grounds that one can stand on because the spouse may not be in their mental good health, but that doesn't mean they cannot function. They cannot. They may not be able to
Yes.
remain intimate, but when it comes to sex wise, they are still able to function. Matter of fact, it is believed that persons that are mentally challenged has a very high sex drive. So then for that
Yeah.
person to go out and find somebody else, that's you think what they really wanted to do in the first place, as
Yes.
opposed to
Yes.
sticking with their spouse. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
believe there
yeah.
are many. Hmm.
They doc anybody can sit down and find reasons. All of us can, because none of us are 100%. And when I mean
Yeah.
by that, there's some things in me that Tanya still disagrees with. Basically, there's
Right.
some things in me that I disagree with. But
Okay.
as the year goes by, I am maturing. I am bettering
Hmm.
myself. Um,
That.
that that being said, because we are all growing, so
Yes.
Tanya could pick something. Oh, he doesn't cut his hair as much as I want him to cut his hair, so I'm going to go out and
Hmm.
find somebody who always cuts their hair, and
Hmm.
that could be a reason.
Yes. And it's
So it
not a
can
good.
be as simple as that.
Yes.
Yeah, it can be as simple as that. People can do what they want to do. It could be
Yes.
as simple as that, or it could be as when we're talking about this person has a mental ailment, and as a result, they are withholding themselves from me. So I now go out to seek relief someplace else.
Yes. Yes. And
But
Doc, I believe.
none of that
Hmm.
is good enough.
No. No. To say
Yes,
go out there and cheat. Yeah.
yes,
I, to, I totally agree with you. But there are persons, I believe, in the audience that are faced with situations like these. And when we do wrong, we always try to justify it. We
yes.
always can find a reason why it had to be done, you know.
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm,
we go back
mm-hmm,
to where you started with being, you know, open and naked to each other, where we know
uh-huh,
each other. I believe, Doc, if we start off on the right track, and if we continue on that track, we will not want to stray because
mm-hmm,
marriage is so, so beautiful. It is so beautiful. And when you find a person that you say, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, persons can see any number of male or female out there that looks better than you. But
mm-hmm,
you made it a choice. This is the one that I want.
mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty of relationship. You devote yourself then to this individual, and you say, "This is who I want to be with the rest of my life." And we always talk about it, Doc. Looking at the grass across my neighbor's yard, it looks so so beautiful. Look at her husband. He gave her such a nice car.
Mhm,
He gave her this, or she gave him that.
mhm,
And we could see the beauty in somebody else's relationship. But if we stop long enough and look in our
mhm,
garden and see how beautiful we have what we have, then I believe it will help us to
mhm,
understand that we are different. We are different. And,
mhm,
you know, if that person is of value to you, that person has value, that person has qualities that you really like, hold that
mhm.
one fast. Because sometimes when we let go that bone, we realize that was only a mirage,
That's
that
it.
was only, you know, and it's too late.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's too late.
Mhm,
So I believe, Doc, one of the reasons why we don't follow through is if we, when the doctor give you a med, any meds to take, they will tell you take this one 3 times a day for 7 days with water, no alcohol, and they give you all the directions to follow.
mhm.
When we meet our spouse or our significant other, if we follow the instructions of how to build that relationship, we have to
Mhm.
connect. We have to
Yes.
bond. We have to trust. We have to communicate. We have to be able to live as one. If we follow all of those instructions, Doc, the best relationship we would ever see.
Yes. 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 And I think that even in the complexities, it's still simple. You show up, you be you, you give 100%. Your partner,
Yes.
your husband, your wife shows up, let them be them and let them
Hmm.
give 100%. And in a
Yes.
relationship, you're not going to down one another, but you're going to praise each other and uplift one another. And that
Yes.
relationship, Doc, is bound to work.
It can
And
work.
that right there
Yes.
is intimacy.
Yes. That's it right there. You know. So if we take each step, don't miss a step, don't miss a beat. Continue each step. And
Yeah.
most important of all, Doc, keep everyone out of your relationship. Do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
realize that people will give you advice based on their situation? But my situation may not be like your situation. You know,
So true.
whereas you can sit down with your spouse, you have a misunderstanding, you can sit down together and resolve it. You go to somebody else and they'll tell you, well, do this and do it this way. And you know within yourself, the instructions they're giving you is not going to work, but you follow it anyhow.
Yes. So true.
And I think we get a lot of that, Dr. Alvin, when we think about, taking some advice are good advice. Not all.
Hmm.
Not all.
Hmm. Yeah. And the thing about it, when when getting advice, you have to be cautious
Yes,
because you need to know the motive of the person giving the advice. What are
exactly.
they trying to achieve as by advising you? What are they
Yes,
telling you? Because there are some people who will glory in the fact that your marriage did not work.
yeah, yep, yep. Wow.
So, so you as
And
an
you,
individual have to be very
we got to know.
careful.
Yes, yes, yes. And that is so true, because if they're giving you advice and it's not working, you better, pull away and look at situation yourself, you know. But doc, we have to understand when we married or we take an individual as our soulmate, um,
Yes.
things are not always going to be good. But the challenge is the one that I find is more taxing is if you're dealing with that one who has maybe having a breakdown or
Mhm.
mentally. Uh, the thing is, what I encourage those persons to do, the spouse, be there for that individual. The funny
Uh-huh.
thing though, Doc, the funny thing though, they may be having a breakdown, right? But
Hmm.
they tend to know what you're doing. They tend to be able to feel if you care. If you look at some persons that have mental issues, they can tell if you are, doing right to them. Now, I'm not
Hmm.
talking those ones
Yeah.
who really gone, right?
Yeah.
So if you love that person, you would make sure they take them to the doctor, coax them, talk to them,
Hmm.
and help bring them about. Because the quicker they
Yeah.
come about, then the quicker your problem solved.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That is so true, Doc.
yeah.
That is very, very true.
Because doc, I believe that there are a lot of people that are dealing with these situations. Guess what? When they would have gotten married, the person showed no sign of mental or had none, right? But throughout life, things happen, and it can happen to any one of us,
Yes, it
right?
can.
It can happen to any one of us. But we have to know our worth, know the worth of our spouse, know,
Hmm.
remember the vows that we took, and all of these things now come full in your face. And you have to be a person of integrity to stick with
Hmm.
your spouse or your
Hmm.
significant other until they're out of the wood. And then, then the intimacy can resume.
Yeah. But see,
It
Doc,
can
people
continue.
run away from trouble. But why run away?
Yes,
Embrace it as a couple and try to
yes,
overcome it, and that
yes.
increases. Cause,
The,
cause,
the,
cause
the,
now
the,
I,
the
I get to
relationship.
see, yeah, I get to see how Tanya operates under those pressures.
Yes,
What she can and cannot handle. She gets to see what
yes,
I can and cannot handle. She gets to see what I can do, what I can do. All of those
yes.
things can be done.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. And you know too, Doc, there is a stigma people look at when you have a mental issue. They look at you, oh, you're crazy,
Yeah.
you know, or they feel embarrassed because it can happen to anybody.
Everybody.
There's
Yes.
no need to feel embarrassed. We are human first. We are human beings. So anything can go wrong with this body, the
Yes.
best of us,
Yeah.
you know. So I think it's the stigma of um, feeling, embarrassed that your spouse or somebody has a mental problem, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But there's nothing you can do. If it's there, now you just got
no,
to work with it.
right,
Once it's
right.
there, you got to work with it
That's right. That's
and
right.
try to bring your spouse back to wholeness.
You're right. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Hmm.
So it is not always bad. It gets better. So
Yeah.
for our audience that are listening, if you're dealing with um, marriage, I mean, mental issue in your marriage, maybe you can call and share with us how you deal with your situation and yet keep your marriage going strong. That
Yeah.
would be a good thing to know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It would be.
yes, it will.
So,
Yeah.
so you need to, boy. Yeah, send us your questions, send us your statements. But Doc, sometimes in those situations, and it still goes back to what we talked about as to how before you engage in relationship with
Mhm.
somebody else, find out who you are, find out your
Yes,
limitations.
yes,
Because see, Doc, just
yes,
like Tanya has to put up with me, I have to put
yes,
up with her. There's things that she does that I
exactly.
don't like. There are things that I do that she
Do.
doesn't like. And we have to put up with
Yes,
each other. Now, if there's a
exactly.
mental breakdown, that takes it to
Hmm.
another level, and that takes it to
Yes.
another level. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, "Love covers a multitude of faults."
Multitude. Yes, yes.
So you just
Wow.
gotta love me through it.
Yeah. And the thing is,
Yes, but it's
that is
right.
the same person. That's right. That is the same person that you was really madly in love about it. There's nothing changed.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I, if you help them quickly and not let them be in that situation for too long, then
Yeah.
you will have your same relationship back again as it was, but it takes
Yeah,
time. Yeah, it takes time.
sounds
Mm.
good.
Yes,
Sounds very
indeed.
good, Doc. But see, I think, Doc, that there are stages in intimacy, and I think as troubles come in a relationship and you
Hmm.
work that out together, like I
Yes,
said, you get to see different aspects of your spouse,
yes,
and then you get to appreciate them more for who they are.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes, indeed. Yes. So that is a good thing, and I believe that once we are able to get those issues under control, because sometimes, Doc, when these things happen to us, it happens and it takes us by surprise. So
yeah.
you now have to deal with the fact that, hey, I've never walked this way before. I've never
Mhm,
thought I would be here before. So
mhm.
after the shock is over, and after you have um, settled down, then you find
And
the
come to
best
grips with,
solution.
yeah.
Exactly. You find a
Mhm,
better way to face the situation that you're dealing with. Yes.
mhm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And that's what you have to do as a spouse.
Yes.
Because once you join in with somebody, you're telling them, I have your back for
Yeah.
life.
Yes. Yes.
So Are we talking about mental issues? We could talk about
Right.
how some people have got cancer and they got so
Right.
bad in the fourth stage of cancer. What do you do?
Well,
Do you pick
yeah.
up and leave, or
No,
is
you
this
can't.
still till there? And then
Yes.
two, if you decide, boy, I'm not going to deal with it, what what if the shoe was on the other foot? What would you want
Right.
your partner to do?
That's right. That's right.
Would you want them to
I,
put up with you? Would you want them to
exactly.
be there to still love you? Well, if that's what
That's
you
right.
want, then shouldn't you give what you want?
Give what, and you said a whole lot right there, Doc. Because guess what? We are vulnerable, just like that person. So if you want good to come to you, then you have to give good to somebody else. You
Yes.
have someone that is in this situation, as opposed to deserting them, leaving them all alone by themselves.
Mhm.
No, you give and help them as best you can. And when you do
Mhm.
that, when you find yourself in a predicament, someone will help you.
Mhm.
Someone will help you, you know.
Mhm.
So that is some of the things that we need to consider when we dealing with a spouse that has a mental situation, or someone that is maybe even have a terminal illness. We just be there for them, you know. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. And
yes,
boy, doc, nothing screams love more than when you are at your lowest and that person comes there and say, listen, I see you, and it ain't just you at your lowest. We at the
yes,
lowest, and we can work this out. Oh
yes,
Lord,
yes, yes, yes.
what can break that? What can
Oh
break
yeah,
that? Yeah,
nothing. You're
yeah,
stalled like an ox then, you know.
yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
you
So
see, because and think, but a dog, what I am tired of, and I'm just in my 40s, so I'm just tired of people talking.
you're
We
right.
gotta go beyond the talk.
Yes, yes,
We need
yes.
action. Can you do what you say you are going to do?
Right.
You you
But you,
say you're gonna be there. I'm at my lowest
right.
point now. Where are you?
Where are you? But I laugh, dog, because guess what? Do you realize that when people realize they are faced with a situation and they are doing everything but the right thing, they have a lot of talk. They will find everything. I'm doing this because of this. I was doing that, but I had to do this. And there will
Uh-huh.
always be a number of excuses. Not that
Yeah.
they're right, but anytime we
Yeah.
try to justify the thing that we're doing, we find all type of excuses, and there's a lot of talk. You know.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like I have shared um when I lost my job in at the engineering company that I worked with. This is
Right.
after Tanya and I had just bought our first house
Right.
in America. So we have a
Hmm.
mortgage. I just had gone out and I didn't buy us our first car. Well,
Wow.
this is actually our second car, but since I started working, I was able to upgrade us. So here we are with the money coming in.
Right.
Two people from the Bahamas, school. We went over for school.
Hmm.
I graduated, went into industry, doing my due, raking in the money, and I said, "Man, babes, we can make this work." And
Right.
we made those plans based on what we know my income was.
Wow.
And one day get called in the office and say, "That's it."
Wow.
And I'm like, wow. And I sat there and I'm like, how do I call Tanya to tell her this? And I
Yes.
know, Doc, I have heard of stories where men have fake for years, still
Mhm.
going out of the house. They didn't get fired, but they
Yeah.
still going as if
Wow.
they're going to work because they can't tell their wife that
That they are no longer. Wow.
I've lost the job.
Wow.
But I picked up the
Wow.
phone and I called my wife, who's also my best friend, and I said to her, honey, they let me go today.
Wow.
And my wife said to me, baby, come home. You don't got nothing to
Wow.
worry about.
That's a woman that's
And you
after
want
my
me
own
leave
heart.
back?
Yeah.
You want
No,
me
that
leave?
that
Yeah.
that's a good.
And that takes it to another level now. Because now she's
Yes.
there. I'm at a low point. She gonna say,
But she
you
is
good for
there.
nothing. Yeah, you good for nothing,
Right.
man. You better go and
Yeah.
find a job because we didn't just buy
Mhm.
this house and just buy this
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
All this stuff is happening, and I am not going back to where we were. But
Right.
she said to me,
Right.
come on home, son. Come on home, honey.
Wow.
We can figure
Wow.
it all out.
You see, and that's what I'm talking about. You don't desert your people when they are their lowest. That's your time to
Yeah,
carry them. Don't
yes,
desert them. Wow.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and as
So,
you said it, as you said, Doc, some people will tell you, look, you got to go find something to do. What are you gonna do? Go look for work.
yeah. Don't
Right
come
then,
home until you come home with another job.
right, and right then,
You
all you need is
just gotta
someone
get
to say, well,
paid.
Lonnie, we can make it. We can make it. That's all you needed right then. you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
And we made it.
And you made it. See, nothing is permanent. The only
The
thing that
Lord
is
helped us and we made it.
that's right.
Every
That's
month
right.
we were still able to pay the mortgage.
You're right. Wow. Now that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Wow.
So
Well.
so people who looking for excuses, Doc, people
Mhm.
who trying to find a way out, their heart was never really in it. They were just
That's it.
lip talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they were
Or
just talking to
or
hear themselves.
right. Or Doc, if the heart was in it, they see something else and they want that too.
Oh Lord. Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So
Those
we
the
just have
greedy
to,
ones.
yeah, commit to one person for better or for worse and make it work. In the good times, in the
Yes.
bad times, don't leave them. That's the time they need you.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
And
So
that's the way it has to be. That's
it has
and
to be that
all
way.
of that helps, Doc. All of that helps to
Hmm.
develop that intimacy.
Right,
And
right.
people who think it's just sex, no, mind
Hmm.
you, sex is a part of it, but that's not
Right.
everything. Intimacy is
That's not
not just
everything.
the physical sexual relationship. It's a lot
Yes,
more than that. It
it's a
is
lot
like
more.
TD Jake says, like Bishop Jake says, into me see.
Right, right.
See
And
who I
and and
am.
you know
You love me who
who
I
I
am.
am. That's right. And another thing, Doc, as we talk and as you mentioned that, is self control.
Yes.
I think self control because if you cannot control yourself, you have to run for sex and everything is sex. Then you need self control.
Yeah. That means that
Yeah.
individual have not yet discovered who they are, their
Right.
limits, their boundaries. So
Yes.
if you are not
Yes.
at that stage, do not
Hmm.
try to invest and try to get somebody else to be to that stage. That is so unfair, Doc. It is so
Exactly.
unfair that you want
It is.
someone to be loyal and true to you, and you're not willing to be loyal and true.
And true to them. Right. Selfish, eh?
That is so unfair.
It is selfish. Yes. But
Yeah,
love covers a multitude of you know
yeah,
that person may not be at the standard. They may fall short. They may become ill. But love covers all of that, and it will
Yes.
keep you moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've even seen, Doc, situations in growing up with my mother and father and seeing them row, and sometimes I thought,
Uh-huh.
oh wow, Daddy may leave and he's not coming back, but he always would come back, and
Oh yeah.
or
Oh yeah.
mommy may go, and that's it, but mommy always came back. And I
Right.
saw, even as my mother battled cancer in the last
Uh,
days or
right.
months of her battling cancer, my
Uh,
80 plus year old father picking her up and taking her to the bathroom and bathing her,
wow.
and putting her back in the bed, and going to the kitchen and cooking, getting food for her. And I'm like, oh my Lord,
Yes.
because he
Yes.
made a vow
Wow.
in
For
sickness
better
and in
or
health,
for worse. Yes.
for better
Yes.
or worse.
And that's remarkable. That's remarkable. That's remarkable.
Yeah.
You know. Wow.
So these people who come up now talking about, oh, you say something to me and I don't like it, so they go their other way. Oh, they
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
never really there.
Right. Yeah, and that's it. You
Never
can't.
really.
Your emotions. You let it control you, and you don't have time
Yeah,
or patience with your spouse. But you got to
yeah,
take. You got to take it one day at a time. One day at a time.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
This is
And
this
that's
is
the way
good,
to
Doc.
do it. With it.
Yes. This is good. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I
Well,
think
Doc,
we need to bring.
we're coming to a close.
Yes.
We have little over three more minutes. So we want to
Right.
say to our listening audience that this is part two of
Yes.
intimacy, the level up. And if you missed last week, part one, you can go on our platform. You can go on the
Yes.
social media and you can download it. You can watch it. We're on LinkedIn. We're on YouTube. We're on X. We're on Facebook. We're on all of these platforms that you can go and
Yes.
you can watch um,
Yes.
part one. And as always, if you have questions, if you have concerns, you can
Yes.
always send them our way so that we can review and respond in kind. We
Yes.
we solicit your response. We're
Yes.
asking you that you could be a part of this dialogue, that you could say
Yes.
you could put your 5 cents in so that we
Yes.
can you may have a different perspective,
You.
so we can look
Yes.
at your perspective and we can talk on that as well. But Doc,
Yes.
in our last 2 minutes, what's your closing words to our listeners?
My final word to our audience, especially those that are dealing with the mental issues, is to love your spouse. Look at them and realize the good
Yes.
that they would have done for you prior to being in that position, and realizing what they would do for you if you were the one in that position. So let's love them and do
Yeah.
all that we can to keep that relationship going. Yeah, that's my thought
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Powerful stuff. Powerful
Yeah.
stuff. So yes, if whatever your spouse is battling, look at it this way. It's not just my spouse battling, we battling.
Me too.
Because
Yes.
when you sign up, when you said those vows, you are no longer
Hmm.
two, but you are
Yes.
now one.
One.
So
That's right.
so whatever your spouse is going through, you're going through. So
You're
if
going
you are
through it
the
as well.
strong one, then it is your place to be there to bear
Hmm.
up the other.
Right.
Because there will be times when you will be weak and you will need the
Right.
help of your spouse to bear you up. So, in our
That's right.
closing, intimacy, yes, sex is a part of it, but sex ain't everything. It
It
is
ain't everything.
intimacy. It is you
Yes.
being who you are and
Yes.
allowing your spouse to see you for who you are. And guess what? They're
Yes.
not judgmental. They aren't judging you. They aren't putting you
No.
down, but they're loving you for who you are and helping to
Just
make
for who
you
you are.
a better you.
Yes.
That is powerful
That's right.
stuff. So
Yes,
until next
indeed.
time, we say you have a good one. You be blessed. And we'll see you next week, Sunday. Life lasts.
Yes. Yes.